Hi there and welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am Gabrielle Victoria and you are tuned in to Sip and Tip Tuesday. I'm excited that you're here. We're having a great week, so I hope your week is going just as good as mine. And we're going to get right into it this week. We have a sip. My friends, we have a sip. So bear with me because the sip is for those 21 and older, but you know, I have to give you something that has a little bit of a health kick in there, right? Whiskey. Old, young, near, far. They have been using whiskey in replacement of modern medicine for generations, right? So last week, short story. Last week, I had a major toothache, like bent over in fetal position, crying in pain toothache. And I could not find anything besides ibuprofen to help me mitigate the pain. After a while, my body grew tolerant to the ibuprofen, and I had to go on Google to figure out what home remedies I could do until I could make it to a dentist's office. Whiskey came up almost as number one. And if you don't know, now you know, okay? Just go get your favorite whiskey. I personally did a whiskey soak. I soaked some cotton balls in whiskey and stuck that cotton ball right in the back where my tooth was hurting. And I guess the alcohol does some type of disinfectant situation, and it silenced that pain right on down. Granted, it was short-lived, so I had to put another cotton ball in there. But until you can make it to a dentist, go ahead and put one back there. But so that was my little whiskey remedy. And if you're ever feeling under the weather, like fever, temperature, cold, chills, congestion, cold kind of stuff, flu kind of stuff, hot toddies, also made with whiskey. So I took my same whiskey and I put it in tea. So I got me some chamomile tea, and you know I'm good for my honey. So I did my tea and honey, and I added a shot of whiskey in there. And when I tell you it burned the congestion right up and put me right on to sleep, it was so good. I was so surprised that the whiskey worked. So hot toddy is what it's called. You can Google it. They have a lot of different recipes that you can do. But that's our sip of the week. Whiskey is here to help in moderation. But we'll toast to that, all right? Great. All right, so this week's topic is for my dreamers, it's for my visionaries, it's for my go-getters, it's for those who are ambitious and driven. It's called follow through. And I know so many of us has fallen victim to starting a task and either starting a new task before you finish something, or starting something and just getting distracted, getting, pulled left and right, and it never gets done, okay? It's called follow through, and a lot of us are fighting with it. It could be procrastination. It could be a lot of different factors as to why you didn't follow through. But we're gonna give you tips today on how to follow through and how to just make some mental reminders to help yourself stay on the straight and narrow, to stay disciplined when you are trying to achieve, accomplish any type of major milestones. So if this is a new business venture, if this is writing a book, if this is starting a new diet, if this is launching a new brand, launching a new business, whatever it is that you want to do, but you found yourself kind of just in this rotating cycle and you haven't made it to the finish line, this episode is for you. So let's start with tip number one. So tip number one is find your why. Duh. Find your why. Most of us need an anchor. An anchor is something that holds us down, keeps us sturdy, our foundation. And your why is going to act as your anchor so that no matter how much you drift and sway, you remember what's down here keeping you afloat, okay? Your why is just as simple as, why is this important? Why is this significant to me? Why now? Why do I need to have this now? Why is this going to change the trajectory of my life and my client's life, or whoever's life? Why? Why am I doing this? And when you remember your why, it could be your children, your family, your spouse. It could be just you wanting to accomplish something for yourself. It could be because there's people out there that need what I do. It could be anything that matters to you. So process, ponder, take some time and figure out your why. And that way, as life comes and as, new projects arise and, things begin to get a little cloudy, you can always reach back down into your anchor and remember why you're doing this one thing. And hopefully that why will jolt you back and you'll get back on track, okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, checkpoints. There's an old African proverb that says, you can't eat an elephant whole, but you can eat it if you break it into little pieces. I totally just paraphrased, but you get the idea. So something as gigantic as our dreams and our visions and our goals, and maybe you want to get this house next year, or maybe you want to, launch a business for the first time. Come on now, anything. It's going to be daunting, especially when you are on step 1 or you haven't even gotten to step 1. But when you break a large task into little minuscule tasks along the way, it's easier for you to make tangible deadlines. So I'm going to write out my business plan by next Tuesday. And by then, I'm going to review it, work over it, and then on to the next checkpoint. So just giving yourself manageable deadlines and checkpoints, okay? Tip number 3. So tip number 3 is accountability. You have to find a source, someone, something that's gonna get your attention enough for you to hold yourself accountable. Maybe it's someone that checks in with you every month that says, hey, where are you on this? How can I help you on this? Or maybe it's a reminder or something that you own, someone that you know, something that is going to jog your memory and hold you to it, what you said you were going to do. All of us sometimes tend to give ourselves too much grace, but when we have someone else on our team, they tend to be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to our goals when we tell them. So having an accountability source, it doesn't have to be a person, but it can be something that you set in place. This is how I'm going to keep myself accountable. If it's a reminder on my calendar, if it's a post note on my mirror, if it's something in my car, something to hold you accountable, okay? That's tip number 3. Finally, tip number 4 is embrace the discomfort. So we get over the fears, we get over, ooh, this doesn't feel good, I'm not popular yet, oh, I don't have enough traction, or I don't have enough engagement, I don't have enough capital, whatever it may be, the fears, the excuses, the discomfort, the unknowing, because as business owners or people who have dreams and visions, if you don't know everything about it, you may feel a little inequipped, a little unprepared. But embrace the discomfort, lean into it, don't run away from it, because at the end of the day, you have to overcome it somehow in order to reach your end goal. So when it comes to discomfort, realize, here's a quote, successful people realize that not everything will be pleasurable, but that it's not worth the short-term discomfort in exchange for a larger long-term gain. So you have to think big picture. A few moments, a few months of budgeting, of sacrificing, of being a little bit uneasy, of working hard is so worth it at the end when you think about the long-term goals of you accomplishing this task or launching this business or putting out something that you've always wanted to do or starting something new. It's gonna be worth it. So I wanna leave you with that. Those are my 4 tips to follow through for my dreamers and my visionaries, my ambitious, driven professionals and entrepreneurs. I hope this helped. It definitely is something I am working through and working on. So this is real live action tip stuff right here. But nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in this week. Can't wait to see you next week. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.